Alright, so I want to talk about some weed control. Um, I've been using, wood chips, kind of back to Eden style, gardening in my garden beds. And while it does really make a huge difference, and I'll show you here in just a second um, how big of a difference it makes to have that cover on your soil when it comes to weed seeds blowing in. But as far as controlling perennial grasses, it does knock them back and it does make them easier to pull. But I'm looking for something to get me some cleaner beds quicker. So sorry, I've been out here toting off branches from a tree that I cut. Well, I still haven't finished cutting it. Anyway, um, so I've been using some painter's plastic on this little area that I'm going to plant my watermelons and probably cantaloupes and honeydews. It's a very small area. Well, maybe I don't know, 10 by 15, something like that. But you can see this painter's plastic right here on the ground. That's been down for about 2 weeks. There is some green growth still under here, but just because it's been still pretty cool. So as far as that goes, I'm gonna let this stay here for probably another week, and I'm gonna go ahead and start my melons indoors, which I wouldn't usually do. I would just go ahead and direct seed them. But I think because I want to let this go a little bit longer, let the heat kind of get out here and bake the hell out of this soil. And yes, I mean, if the microbes and the worms are there, if they stay there, then yeah, they're gonna die because it's gonna get upwards of 130 degrees. If we get to 100, it's probably gonna be about 130, 135 under this plastic, probably to about an inch deep, if not a little bit more. So I think most of the soil microbes are gonna be smart enough to get deeper to where they didn't gonna really mess them up. I've still got a lot of work to do in this backyard, I'm telling you. And so with the oil crash, I now, well, I lost my job. I'm a CNC machinist, and well, I say lost my job. We've been furloughed for no less than 2 weeks, so I have to see how that goes. But anyway, um, I will have time to do more things. Get out of my face! What do you want? Sorry about that. You will notice that a lot on this channel. I do not like bugs in my face, and they seem to love me. I guess I must be. I got some deodorant the other day, and it smells like Starburst or something. But anyway, yeah. So over here, you can see these wood chips are. Let's see if I can get you in that better. I mean, you still got some. I think this is monkey grass or whatever, still coming up. A few weed seeds that have blown in and propagated. That right there is from digging the tomatoes. Or not digging them, but digging the holes to put them in. But for the most part, the weeds back here are now under control. Even though over there you can see there's a lot of junk, and that Queen Anne's lace is still giving me a lot of problems back there. But the wood chips have helped. Now, earlier in spring, actually this is like mid-February. I don't know when spring actually starts. I'm Texan. We don't pay attention to that until it isn't cold anymore. So I came out here to. Sorry, I'm in my own shadow, ain't I? All right. Let's see if I can do it like this. Okay. So I came out here to direct seed some lettuce and some radishes and some brassica greens in early spring, around February, mid-February, something like that. And because they're really small seeds, I have to pull the wood chips back. Well, I pulled the wood chips back to over there. You see, it's all nice and clean. Now you get to right here. I hope you guys can see that because I can't see my screen. And then it stops again. And yes, like I said, there are still some weed seeds that have blown in and been able to germinate. Sorry. But for the most part, the weeds have stayed right here where I pulled the mulch back and left the soil exposed. So yes, it is highly effective when it comes to keeping weed seeds from blowing in. But like I said, for the perennial grasses, not so much. I do have some beds that I've managed to keep even the perennial grasses out of. Jeez, it is hot out here already. It's like mid-April, but yeah. So that's the largest difference that I've noticed is just that one little square, maybe 18 inches, where I rake those wood chips back and just all kinds of weed seeds. And it's there's obviously been other weed seeds that have blown into that same area. It's not like they just blew into that one little square, but they couldn't germinate on the wood chips. So I'll probably keep using I'm thinking. Let me come sit back down. I'm thinking that a composted wood chip would be a little bit better option for me because of the simple fact that this is North Texas and we don't always get a lot of rain, especially midsummer. We go through some pretty nasty droughts. So I'm thinking, if I can, and I know where I can get some composted wood chips. Our municipality has a huge wood chip pile, and they have several little satellite piles located throughout the city. But if I can go get some of that and use that as a mulch instead, it's to a point where it's broken down enough that I feel like that might kind of defeat the purpose. I don't know. I'll just have to give it a little bit more thought and figure out which route I want to go, because these weed seeds blow in every year, like clockwork, and I don't want my beds to look like that one little square I just showed you. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I was just putting some thoughts on video. Like and subscribe if you'd like. I'd really appreciate it, especially considering the fact that I'm not working right now. I'd like to go ahead and get this channel monetized and see if I can't, provide a little something from a little boy through this, and try not to be one of the guys that's putting a strain on the coffers, I guess. I'm hoping to be back to work pretty soon. I think if this COVID-19 or coronavirus blows over within the next month, then I think we'll be okay. I know initially they were saying that it wouldn't be able to survive in hot climates, and it is certainly hot here in North Texas, and it will only get hotter. It's probably only in the 80s and 90s today. But with everybody staying home, nobody using gas, I walked into work Monday, and we've got this new protocol where we when the next shift gets there, they have to wait until we've wiped down our machines, disinfected the machines, and then exited the building before they can even go in. So we were standing outside waiting for first shift to come out, and then it was an unusually long wait, and I kind of knew something was up, and they pulled me into the office first, which made me think that I had maybe messed something up, like that I was going to be written up for something, because I had just talked to my supervisor a couple of days before, and he told me I was safe. If they started doing layoffs, then he'd make sure that I got to keep my job, and he named off a few other people that would go before me. But they called me into the office first. I was like, well, did I mess something up? And I got in there and I was like, "What's the deal, boss?" And he's like, "Man, a whole bunch of negative stuff has happened." And I thought, like I said, I just started. So when he told me it was due to getting the email to stop all production, um, I was kind of waiting on it, but like I said, I was kind of hoping that my head wouldn't be the one on the chopping block, but I'd only been there for about 2 months. So um, anyway, hopefully we all pull through this, and I hope that none of you have any friends or family that's sick with this. Well, with anything, but especially this COVID-19. I don't know how serious it is. I'm not necessarily concerned for myself because I just don't get sick. And I know this is something new, but I do take precautions. I'm just um, not worried that I'll actually get sick myself. However, I do have a 7-year-old mother and a son. Um, so, we'll see. Hopefully, this all blows over. Um, but this definitely wouldn't be a bad time to start a garden. And I'm telling you that painter's plastic, it's a good way to knock back your weeds, and then you can get your compost on top. And if you want to use cardboard and then compost on top of that, you need to soak the cardboard first, because anything really you put on that, especially if it's on a slope, it's just going to slide off. I've had that happen several times. That's why the tomatoes are planted in the bed where they're at, is so I can kind of build that soil up to where it's a little more level, and then I can start composting up here above that, closer to the house. But yeah, anyway, just some thoughts. I appreciate it if like, subscribe, watch to the end. I probably should have said that in the beginning. Whatever. Y'all take care.